Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coexist. I'm Kenya. This is my other half, Greg.
Yeah.
And on today's topics, we're going to be talking about politics and relationships. And basically, should that be the end all be all before you even start to date?
Mm, I don't
What do
know.
you do?
I'm just saying, I
Yeah.
don't know. So, when I was doing a little research, I just noticed that it said about 49% of people they want to talk about politics within the first couple of dates.
Okay.
How do you feel about that? Because
I don't think I do think certain topics should not be avoided when you first start to date. If that is something that is important to you, including religion, I do think that should be touched on, as well as like the boundaries that you might have if that were to come up in a relationship, as far as like our beliefs and, if we're red or blue, if we are independent, if we, don't want to vote and we're just not a part of that, that group. So
I mean, I guess everybody has a different kind of
yeah,
mindset on the topic. I think like with the current what's it called with the current
events.
current events or just the overall state of America right now. It's on high alert with the Democrats and the Republicans, and it's so divided. You know what I'm saying with current situations. Because I know for like myself, like for instance, if I was to see, a Trump flag, that would be fine. But then a lot of times it's paired with like a Confederate flag, so that makes me kind of like have pause as a African American man. Like it's like do they really know what that stands for, or are they just And it's like we don't know. So that's something that in the past I didn't have to think about, but now with all the current events, that's something that kind of draws red flags when I see that. So it's not, and it's not that um I'm against somebody that like he's a Trump, he's a Republican, or he's a like I'm an independent. I consider myself an independent. So to me, it doesn't really matter because I'm going off of who I would feel make a better fit at the time. He could be a Republican, he could be a Democrat, but once it's like racially motivated, that's when I kind of start to have pause and stuff like that. So on the dating scene, it might, I don't know, like like so if you was to meet somebody and what would be your like in that conversation, how would it go?
Depending upon obviously when the topic of politics is brought up, I usually tell people whether I'm dating or about to start dating, like, hey, I'm biblical, I'm not political, right? So that sets the standard right there.
Yeah.
If you are truly biblical and a follower of Jesus Christ, there are certain scriptures that talk about like loving thy neighbor as you love yourself and all of that. Even like loving your enemies, which is very, very hard. So, but it does give you that foundation of if a topic were to come up, whether you agree or disagree, you're able to still coexist in peace, right? And not like be divided, not be so serious to where it's like I don't even want to mess with you, I don't want to talk to you because you're Republican or whatever the case may be. I think that that's ignorant. To a certain standpoint, I think it is some form of ignorance when you start to have that division just because somebody, if that's the case, you might as well not talk to anybody that supports Dallas Cowboys, right? If you're a 49ers fan, it's like I'm not talking to you, I'm not messing with you, but we're still able to coexist and like watch the game like in a living room setting with family and still be cool at the end of the day. I think politics should be the same. Unfortunately, we have some people that take it very, very seriously. There are some football fans, I'm not gonna lie, that take it serious, but to that extent, I think it's just not wise. I think it's ignorant at the end of the day.
Yeah, I believe in like trying to get to know someone for who they are, but knowing that that's going to come up. It was even saying on some dating sites, because a lot of people go on dating sites.
Yeah.
And then once they see that in someone's profile, if they're like voted for Trump or if they voted for Harris, it was just a divide there. So they was like, people were already not even giving that person a chance just because of who they voted for. But like you said, I think it should come down to a biblical principle, but it's kind of like not just the person that is calling themselves a Christian, a real follower of Christ. It's a difference because, like I said, back in the days, you had a lot of people that was still racist and they called themselves Christians. So that kind of says, when you say, "Oh, I'm a Christian, but I'm still racist," that doesn't really go hand in hand. So I don't know how people try to entangle that. So it's kind of one of them things of like, it shouldn't mean a big deal, but like I said, I would give somebody a chance, try to talk to them just to find out where their heart is in the situation.
Yeah, and people do the same thing with like the signs, right? Like, oh, I'm this sign, and so I can't talk to you. We're not going to get along. And it's like I said, it takes Christ out of the equation. And at the end of the day, you could be missing out on a blessing in disguise. So you might have two different political parties. They find interest in each other. They start dating each other, and it works for them. Leaving politics out of it for the most part, or just having that mutual respect. Like maybe they can still talk about it, but
yeah, because interesting enough, like when I was doing like a little research, it was saying that once you start talking to someone, it was a low percentage of people that actually broke up because of the political stance. Some people just didn't want to engage, so they was like, find a means to we agree to disagree. We just not gonna talk about it. Like we're gonna kind of keep that separate. But I believe that you should be able to talk about anything with your person.
Yeah,
like, what I'm saying? They should be able to come up and learn how to not even debate, but just have a discussion as adults. Like, hey, this is your beliefs, and find out why they believe that. Because a lot of times when you find out why somebody believes something, they could be misinformed, or they could have all the answers and you could be misinformed. So you never know. So like it just depends, I guess, on how you are to go into like I don't even want to call it a debate. I just said it's a discussion, because when we start talking about a debate, it kind of makes it already divisive. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It does. Yeah, it depends. Yeah, I guess the verbiage that you use can play a part on it too. I actually came across an article which is really cool on what you can do when your beliefs are the polar opposite of those that you love, whether it's boyfriend girlfriend type of relationship, or even with family. Like we're just talking about relationships in general. Discussing politics without fighting. So things you can do is look for the good in your loved one's position. Stick to the facts, not opinions. Be willing to be a generous listener. Look at your differences as a way to expand your thinking and grow, and pay attention to your tone of voice and avoid angry outbursts, and respect that there's a time to back down. Basically, picking your battles, knowing when to just be quiet. Hey, this is messing up the whole atmosphere of the family gathering. I might want to be quiet. So, what do you think about some of those?
No, I think that's I believe this is just an emotional intelligence is what comes to mind when I think about that, because it's always a time and a place to talk about stuff. And understanding, if you're talking with facts, it can't be you can't get too many feelings mixed up, because it's like, I'm just telling the facts. I'm not trying to sway you or turn aside or add my own input. I'm just saying facts. So if I'm telling you facts about something, then this is what it is. And it's a difference of if I'm just giving my opinion, because a lot of times you see like you see it in older people that might have grew up in the South, or they grew up a certain way. Like they just was raised that like, this is how we vote, X, Y, and Z, and on both sides of the fence. That's just, we vote Republican. That's just been my lineage. We vote Democrat. That's just been what it is. And a lot of people are so set in them ways without even looking at even the candidates or who running. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think if you do your own research and don't just go on what somebody else is telling you, it will make it easier for you to make your own opinion. And then don't get, like you said, don't get so caught up in just trying to be defensive when somebody's telling you facts. Just like, listen to what they're saying, and if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it don't, and then at the end of the day, you agree to disagree. It doesn't have to be a winner. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So another thing is, obviously we talked about discussing politics without fighting. Like we don't want to be fighting. Another thing is, how about steering away from politics altogether? So you have to know your boundaries, and you have to also like read the room, know how to read the room. Like, hey, this is, like you said, not the place, not the time. Some things you can do is keep your political passions private. Just don't talk about it. Sometimes people just don't care either, to be honest. Never debate issues online. Ask yourself what you hope to accomplish by having this conversation in the first place. Like what is your ultimate goal? Is it to prove yourself right? Because some people really just don't care about politics. You don't know that. So like read the room. Remember that politic foes attack each other for political gain, not because they hate each other. And then it says here, rather than trying to prove points, you ask questions, right? Just to get some more information. And then also ask yourself if any political ideas or positions are deal breakers for your relationship. And I think that that could be something in the very beginning stages, like when you first meet someone, just to kind of get that out of the way. Like if you know you're one of those people that are just rah rah for like, your political party, I would just go ahead and ask right in the beginning.
I mean, and I think that some people do. I think they do kind of like get that in their mind of like, okay, if you this, I'm just not gonna deal with it. Just like people do with signs, like you were saying, like you were saying earlier. It's like, oh, you are Virgo, whatever. And it's
Yeah,
funny.
people are doing that.
It's
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 dumb.
it's so funny because it's like people can be the total opposite of what you would think. But like you said, if it comes down to biblical and who I am and with humility and all of that, I'm a different person than what you might think that's on paper or what the signs say or whatever the case may be. So I believe that you should give people a chance to get to know them. But
Yeah,
I
because
think if it's
our
racially motivated, if
yes.
you just political for racial reasons or like you just racially
Well,
motivated by it, then it's
yeah,
a difference.
yeah. Then I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't go there if it was that deep. Um, but like I said, even with us, we're complete opposites as far as signs go, which is interesting to me. But think about it: if I would have went off of those things like astrology and stuff like that, I could have
Mm.
missed out on a blessing, right? So it's like it's not about certain things.
I'm the blessing.
That's a whole nother, I guess we can do a whole nother episode on
Yeah.
that, like astrological signs and what the Bible speaks on that. Because I feel like God truly can prove you wrong, whether it's like
Yeah.
you're thinking about, oh, we're the opposite sign, we shouldn't be together because this is what it says, or we're different political parties and it's not going to work. And it's like, I don't know. I just think some things, yeah,
Yeah, I
be
think that
careful.
you'll be surprised when you look and have a conversation how much it can change the outcome of a situation. Like
Mm-hmm.
just by having a
That's
conversation and
so
somebody
true.
can hear your points and be like, "Oh, I didn't even think about it like that." Or, "Oh, if you especially when you're showing them proof, like you say you're showing them facts. If I'm showing you, "Hey, like this is what happened, this and that, and these are the stats." It's kind of like, "Oh, I didn't know that." Because some people just, like I said, they just go because that's what they were told, that's how they were raised.
But
So
also
it just
check,
depends.
yeah, check your, what did I say, to check the resources that
Yeah,
you're getting
research where you getting it from.
where you're getting your information
Yeah.
from. If you're going to be presenting facts and stuff, like really do background checks. Like I learned that obviously in school, but in anything, like check the source. For us, like our source is Jesus Christ. So that's the source I'm going to check first before I go into debating with you or saying, hey, this is not going to work, or I don't want to talk to you because, and it's not biblical. That's why I feel like, that's why I feel like, yes, being biblical and not political first is literally key to being able to establish those healthy relationships, whether you're polar opposites or not. Like if you completely agree,
Yeah.
that's what builds strong relationships, and you can learn from one another. Stuff that people in the Republican Party can present to those Democrats that they may not have known in private conversations or whatever, and vice versa. So it goes both
I
ways.
think like when you said like having a conversation and people understanding each other, but like really like because I believe that in a relationship you need to talk about that kind of stuff in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning. So it's like why
Yeah.
wait 5 6 months in if it means that much to you. So I believe if you're doing
Mm.
the important stuff in the beginning, I think you can get you can get further or you can go further having them important conversations in the beginning instead of waiting like dang I really love this person but I'm so stuck on this I don't want to deal with it, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
have them conversations in the beginning if that's what you're stuck on, if you're kind of like like you said, rah rah about your candidate or whatever the case may be, because like at the end of the day, Jesus Christ is in control. You know what I'm saying? So
He's in
anybody
all
can be the
control.
president, but in my heart, I feel like Jesus Christ is in control. That's why I don't have the fear that some people walk around with, like, oh, we're gonna like whatever,
Yeah.
because I know who's in control of at the end of the day. So
All right. All right, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think politics should be the forefront of a relationship? Is that a deal breaker for you? Why or why not? Also, subscribe Coexist 6268 on YouTube, as well as check out our Instagram page and our TikTok page as well. And yes, we're Coexist. And until next time,
see you later.